Hey, thanks for coming.
Boy, the bridges are all messed up again. Okay, so what's the victim's name?
Alex Woods. He's 5.
And when did they go in the water?
About 10 this morning.
10 o'clock this morning?
Yeah.
Where are you going, over here?
Actually, no, over on this other pier here where the red flag is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And where's the mother?
Sarah, that's her on the other pier there with her
with the kid?
Sister, yeah.
Okay. So what are the circumstances here?
The mother said he was climbing up onto the pier. He was looking down in the river. She looks away for a second. She looks back, and he's gone.
Okay, so she looks away.
Yeah.
And the river, how's the river where you went in over there?
Water's pretty deep right there. You know, the current doesn't look like much, but it's pretty wicked.
Very wicked.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's the current then that held the kid under probably, and that's what happened?
Yeah, exactly. She looked in the river right away, but she couldn't see him.
Oh, yeah. And what about the divers? I don't see any divers here.
Oh, they can't see shit in this water. The ocean tides and the river current together.
Okay.
The body could be anywhere.
Okay, so he's 5 years old. He's in the water. His chances for survival in this kind of water is what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, well, generally we give up hope of finding anybody alive after about 4 or 5 hours in water this temperature.
Yeah?
So, yeah, we were just hoping maybe he got caught up along the shore or the log booms, but we haven't seen a sign of him.
Okay. You've been at it for what now? That'd be 6 hours.
Right.
Shit. What are you gonna do? You gonna continue to look, or?
We're gonna have to call it quits.
Does she know?
No.
Okay, I'll tell her.
Thanks.
What's the boy's name again?
Alex. Alex Woods and mother Sarah.
Thanks. Mrs. Woods?
Yes?
Hi, my name's Dominic Da Vinci. I'm with the Vancouver Coroner's Office.
Did they find him?
No, ma'am. Not yet.
Why are you here if they haven't found him?
Well, in some situations, the investigation begins before a body's been retrieved. Situations like this, normal.
You're here to tell me that he's officially dead.
Yes, I am. I'm very sorry for your loss.
How much longer are they going to continue searching?
Well, we're not. We decided that we're wrapping it up.
No, I can't accept that. I want my son, and I want you to keep
Yeah,
looking.
the currents in this river are very strong.
I know that. But you think I don't know that? I know that.
I'm sorry.
It's the money, isn't it? It's the cost.
It's just not my call. I'm sorry. So would you be up to answering a few questions for me?
I don't think so.
It would really help.
No. It's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, it was just a few things. If I knew them, you know. I've this before now. Where were you exactly, you know, when you went in the water? Where were you? How far?
I was just where we are now.
Like to the edge of the dock? Okay, and what was he doing? Was he playing, running around, acting like a goof, like kids might do?
He was just standing at the end of the dock, and he was just looking at the ripples in the water.
Would you mind taking a walk with me? Maybe we walk away from here and let's go over to the other dock where you went in and just walk through exactly what happened. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. I think it's okay. Whoop.
The impact sent him like a rocket through the windshield. And he had massive head injuries. You should see them. Brutal.
Where was that?
Right at the intersection of Hastings and Kamloops. The car slammed into the ass end of one of those jumbo pickups.
Any witnesses to the accident?
Oh, yeah, and they're all saying that the pickup was properly stopped at the light. But the car drove right into him, full speed, didn't even bother to brake.
You're saying he was a doctor?
Yeah, Ian Stroud. He turned 40 today.
There was massive trauma where his head went through the windshield. But you can also see on the right side of his skull, there's an exit wound.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And on the other side of the skull, here, there's an entry wound. There's no way you would have caught that on the scene. His head was too damaged from the impact. I discovered it during the autopsy.
So the bullet came in through the open driver's side window. It hits him, he dies instantaneously, and that's why he slams into the pickup, yeah?
Right.
Any idea what the weapon might have been here?
Something high-powered, handgun, rifle, could be either.
Yeah. What about the angle of entry or exit?
Well, without knowing the exact position of his head when he was hit, it's speculation. You know, magic bullet where to come from.
Where's the doctor's car now?
It's at the impound.
We should get that over to the forensics garage right away.
Yeah. Hate you notify the next of kin?
Doctor's wife? Yeah, she's coming down.
Yeah. She didn't happen to say what the doctor was doing or where he was going or anything like that?
Well, yeah, you know, his practice is at the corner of Hastings and the 9 Mole. They opened at 9, the accident was at 8:30, so we're kind of assuming he was on his way to work.
Yeah, well, when she gets in here, would you let us know? Tell her that we need to hook up with her.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, also, Winston, I'm gonna need that list of witnesses there.
Yeah, man, I'm faxing that all over to you.
Hey, Sonny, nice catch. We should head over to the scene, take a look, and then run down, take a look at the car.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna need to get some food somewhere in there.
Oh, hey, you got any money? I think I left my wallet in my other pants.
Better broke than naked.
Yes?
Detective Kosmo, Vancouver Homicide.
Yes, how can I help you?
I'm looking for Mr. Lloyd Langston.
He moved him out 3 months ago.
Well, did he say where he might be going or leave a forwarding address?
I know he left a mailing address with the post office. They should be able to help you.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
Would you come in a minute, please? There's something I have to talk to you about.
Sure. So what's on your mind?
Did you see the man working on his car out there?
I noticed him, uh-huh.
Well, that's Mr. Turner. The strangest thing happened. The other night, Tuesday. Would you like some tea?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Well, the other night, Tuesday night, at Mr. Turner's house, there was the most violent argument. Their dog is barking and barking, and I heard Mr. Turner yelling at Mrs. Turner, and Mr. Turner was yelling, and then everything just went quiet, like the sound was switched off.
About what time was this argument?
Around 11 o'clock.
Did you call the police?
No, not this time.
Not this time. You've called before when they were arguing?
Yes, but the last time I called, Mr. Turner yelled obscenities at me.
Okay, this particular argument, the other night, were they threatening each other, or?
Well, about an hour after I heard them yelling, I saw Mr. Turner carrying something heavy from his house out into the backyard.
Could you see what it was?
No, it was too dark. This is the part that alarms me. I haven't seen Mrs. Turner since, and I would see her. Every morning she works out in her garden.
Well, I think if you'd be willing to file a domestic violence complaint, I can investigate this.
But then he'll know it was me.
He doesn't have to know that.
Maybe I'm just imagining it. My husband used to say that, Molly, you have an overactive imagination. I don't know.
Well, you know what you saw and heard.
All right. All right.
Okay, I can have an officer come down. You can file a complaint. Then if she turns up safe and sound, either way, you've done the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Canvass all the stores and buildings along here on both sides of the street. See if anybody saw somebody with a firearm on the sidewalk or any place. Check for anything suspicious. Maybe somebody heard a gunshot. Right.
So where do you figure the shooter is if the doctor's coming along right through here?
Well, if it's me, I'm in one of these buildings or I'm up on a roof.
It's a pretty hard shot to make, cutting through traffic like that.
Yeah, moving target. So whoever this is, they've obviously had some practice.
Just waiting for the doctor, maybe.
Or maybe it's just the doctor's not the target.
What, you mean somebody's waiting to shoot whoever comes along like that?
Yeah, just random.
No, it's lucky you didn't cause a bigger accident. Come shooting right through the intersection here and get a big pile-up going on in the middle.
D?
No.
Yeah, you might want to take a look at this.
This what?
This file. I was entering your notes on the drowning, and I found a previous entry for the mother, Sarah Woods. She lost another child almost exactly 5 years ago.
It's kind of heavy. What's this? Hiking accident? What else is? Oh.
Number of blows to the head, which could have been caused by the fall down the cliff or a blow to the head.
Shit. I don't like the smell of this.
You said that you interviewed the mother and you were satisfied with her explanation.
Right. Right. Then we find out from records that she's lost a child 5 years ago in a hiking accident. She never even mentions it to me. In that incident, apparently the child's walking with her, tumbles down, ends up on a ledge down the cliff there. Before the rescue team can reach the boy, he's dead.
That's a traumatic experience.
Sure. One child dies, that's an accident that happens every place, all over the world, every day, but that's tragic.
Yeah, but I mean a second child. You'd think the mother would exercise extreme caution, if not paranoid hypercaution, given what happened to the first child.
That's right. So either this is a tragic coincidence or it's not, but I don't want to push this poor woman over the edge all the way, you know, if she's innocent, but...
Well, she underwent a thorough investigation the first time?
A normal coroner's investigation up in the interior where the accident happened.
But you're thinking that now maybe that wasn't an accident?
In light of what's just happened, I gotta think that, absolutely. And, you know, I gotta give you the heads up on this in case the whole thing ends up tipping your way, which I think it might.
Yeah, but there's no body yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. So and the other child's been buried. So we got one child missing, we got the other body, maybe have to be exhumed.
Now there's another child in the home, isn't there?
That's right. 2.5 years old.
Well, look, until you find a body, in the river, you're speculating.
I like to have a body. I don't mean investigating a third death in this family down the road. Not good.
Okay, well, I'll foot the bill if you want to continue the search.
That would be very helpful, Sergeant. Thank you.
Okay. Ian performed abortions.
Was he an abortion doctor?
Well, actually, he was an obstetrician who deals with anything to do with pregnancy, including abortions.
Was it common knowledge that your husband performed abortions?
No, I'd say it was, yes.
Were there threats because of that?
All the time. His practice keeps the record. If you talk to his partner, she'll have it.
Did your husband take any precautions against these threats?
Yeah, he tried to. He'd vary his route to the hospital and his office, which exit into the building, shift his work hours around.
The morning that your husband died, he went straight to his work. Do you know what time that was?
Yeah, he left the house about 8.
Do you mind my asking what you and your husband did the night before he died?
Oh, let's see. Ian got in late from the hospital. We talked for about 5 minutes. He went to bed, and I watched television.
Could you describe the nature of your relationship?
We're in that stage known as withdrawal.
Do you know if your husband was having any relationships outside of the marriage?
No, not that I knew of.
And did you work at his office?
No, I work at the hospital in the ER.
Have you seen anybody hanging around at the hospital or in the neighborhood that seemed strange or out of place?
No. You know, it's funny. We talked about this maybe happening someday, but I never really believed it. People campaign against taking a life, and yet they go out and they take life themselves. It's just madness.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Fred Turner?
Yeah, that's right. Ah, damn. Ah. Damn thing's welding on there.
I'm Detective Kosmo. This is Detective Laboucaine, Vancouver Homicide.
Is it about my wife?
Yeah.
Something happened to her?
We don't know. That's what we're here to determine.
When's the last time you saw Susan?
Tuesday night. Tuesday night around 11. I was watching TV. She walked past me out the door. Heard the car start. Then when I woke up that morning, she hadn't come home.
And that didn't worry you?
Well, yeah, but she always does this. She just takes off, you know? She said she needs her space.
And how long does she usually stay away when she takes off?
Well, usually a couple of days. One time she was gone for a week.
She doesn't call you, let you know where she is?
No.
So, how long have you two been married?
About 7 years.
And you and your wife, you get along okay?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. Police have been to your house a half dozen times stopping fights between you two, haven't they?
Well, we fight sometimes, but we still love each other.
All right, the night your wife left, did the two of you have a fight?
No.
We have reports you had a fight. Several of your neighbors heard you.
Well, we had a little fight, but that's not why she left. We made up after the fight, then she left.
What about friends or family? Do you think they might know where she is?
I don't know, but you could talk to her father.
Okay. We're gonna need that number and a list of her friends.
Okay.
Do you mind if we come in, have a look around?
Sure, no problem. Be my guest. Got nothing to hide. I just want to help.
Okay, here we go. This is what's left of your bullet here. Armorer says it's a 30-06.
Rifle bullet.
Yeah, once I check the lands and grooves on it, I can give you the make and model of the weapon.
Where'd you find it?
Oh, well, come on over here. I'll give you a look-see. I dug it out of the roof above the passenger door panel, right over here.
So the shots fired from the opposite side of the street, then?
I had to come from that direction anyway.
Hey, was this window down like that?
Well, that's the way it came to me.
Well, we went down to the scene. We figured the shooter had to be in one of the buildings across the street or maybe up on a roof.
Ah, you can forget the roof. From the angle of the bullet through the brain, I'd say the shooter had to be almost level with the car.
Level with the car. That put him level with street traffic.
Well, maybe he was on the opposite sidewalk then.
Well, none of the witnesses heard a shot. Nobody saw anybody with anything that might even remotely resemble a weapon.
Sounds like the mysterious third gunman on the grassy knoll over in Dallas.
Yeah, well, at least they had some of it on film.
Hey, Chick, what about the distance? You got anything on that for us yet?
Hard to tell. Well, hey, maybe this is related to some of those abortion doctors who got shot in the States.
Yeah, it could be. We're looking into that one. Jeez, he really plowed into the car in front of him pretty hard, didn't he?
How fast do you think he was going?
45, 50 miles an hour? Whatever the hell that is in kilometers.
He was going over the speed limit.
Yeah, but he could have pressed down the accelerator after he got shot. And the guy ahead of him was stopped for a light.
Yeah. You know, with him being in a moving vehicle like this, it's gonna be really hard to tell where the hell the shooter was on the block, isn't it?
Right.
This bruise here on your shoulder.
Got that from hauling fertilizer from my wife's garden.
Well, this cut here on your hand. How'd you get that?
Got that on the truck. I was out there working on my truck. You saw me, right? Look, I don't have to be showing you my cuts like this, okay? I just want to get this all cleared up right now.
Okay, how about this cut on your forearm here?
I don't know about that one. I don't remember that one.
You don't remember when you get a cut?
No, I don't. Do you?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm scared shitless of getting the flesh-eating disease.
Those your wife's suitcases in the bedroom?
Yep. And why she didn't take one, I don't know.
It also looks to me like she didn't take any of her clothes with her.
Well, she took the car. You can see that's gone.
See a dog dish. She also take the dog?
No, the dog ran away that night, too.
You can't keep anybody at home, can you?
What's that on the wall there?
I don't know.
That looks like blood. Is that blood?
Okay, come on. You and me are gonna go in the bathroom so I can check you with your pants off. Come on.
What happened? One of your volunteers found him?
Yeah, one of the guys from the mill came down. He was searching the boom. Spotted what looked like something underneath one of the logs and managed to get a pike pole onto it.
He was trapped underneath?
Yeah, we're gonna send the divers out to free him up.
It's not too far from where he went in the water, is it?
No.
Well, he could have been trapped under there for quite a while.
Yeah? He had tried to grab hold of one of those logs. He could have rolled onto him.
That'd be pretty tough, wouldn't it? It's all slick on the underneath side.
Yeah.
All the bark coming off and everything like that.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, I just hate to think he was still alive while we were down here searching for him.
Well, we don't know that's what happened.
You know, we looked all up and down this stretch.
You did everything you could do, okay?
Yeah. The divers are gonna go cut him free.
Okay. Let go of that. We're gonna take him down to the morgue and we'll get the whole story on this. I'll keep you informed every step of the way, okay?
Thanks.
Don't beat yourself up on this. I'm serious. Listen to me, okay? You can't do it. You can't do it.
I'm looking at the body of a young male, identified by relatives as Alexander Woods, age 5 years, Caucasian. There are dozens of skin abrasions and bruises immediately visible, some appearing to be caused by incidental contact with foreign matter, some by repeated abrasion. These artifacts are present on the head, the neck, the upper and lower torso, front and back, the arms, front and back.
Okay, we're just speculating here, okay? We accept the initial coroner's report on the first child's death. We accept his ruling of accidental.
Who did the autopsy?
Just one of the pathologists from the interior. He's a good man there. We never had any problem there before. Top-notch fellow.
And what were the circumstances in that instance?
Again, the mother's out with the child. They're hiking. The child disappeared around a turn out of view and then fell to his death down the cliff. Okay. Now, the mother, all of a sudden, she is being extended all kinds of sympathy. She's the center of attention. She's in the newspaper. She's the focus of a tragedy.
Did she ever receive any counseling?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Okay, so now some time's passed by, and now suddenly, not so much tension, right? There's no cards, letters, newspapers, none of that shit. She wakes up one morning, and she misses being the center of attention.
So you're talking about a variation on the Munchausen by proxy syndrome?
Yeah.
Well, as far as I understand it, that syndrome applies to people who gain attention by first making their child sick and then extending that attention, not by killing the child.
Oh, no, sometimes they kill them.
A small percentage.
This may fall into that category, the small percentage.
So what you're really asking me is to approve the exhumation of the first child?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just wait and see what the pathologist comes up with? It may not even be necessary.
So that's how it's going to be around here now. Is there going to be on a case-by-case kind of scenario here? Is that what you want to do? You know, you don't even give me the leeway to...
Dominic, I am not questioning your judgment here.
Really?
Okay, but until I can defend our budget before the Attorney General, line item by line item, then yes, I'm afraid it's going to have to be case by case.
Okay. All right, okay. So, we're on a case-by-case thing then. In this case, I'm asking you for an exhumation, okay? How long has the body been in the ground? How long has the body been in the ground? 5 years. Well, then I'm going to have to say no. Look, if they couldn't prove anything other than accidental 5 years ago, we don't have much to go on now, do we?
We got blood in the wall here in a downward direction. Several smears in the cupboard over here and all around the dog dish.
Do you think the blows happened low to the floor?
Yeah, probably delivered to somebody already on their knees.
Detective, you might want to take a look out here in the backyard. I found the shovel in the garage. It looked like it had some fresh dirt on it. So I look around, and you can see right over there. Looks like somebody was doing some digging.
My wife's a gardener, I told you that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna take a look at this anyway, and you're gonna turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Because my wife's on vacation and I got some gardening going?
Yeah. Everything turns out all right, we'll apologize.
Not gonna find my wife down there.
You wanna get started here, chick? Tape it off?
Yeah, we'll take a look-see back here. Now, tape off the entire yard here, and we'll start here where the soil's been turned.
So what are we looking at?
It's a dog.
A dog?
Yeah, take a look. I'll pull this back here for you.
No, I don't want to see that.
You look at dead folks for a living. This bothers you?
Will you just have a look?
There's a couple of nasty blows to the head there, eh?
What kind of dog did Fred say he had?
It's a lab cross. Ginger's her name.
Okay, so this is Ginger.
So what do you think the chances of the wife being out here are?
Oh, I don't think so. This is the only piece of ground that's disturbed.
Thanks. Let's go.
It's mostly letters. There's some email on disk and a few tapes, the phone calls from the answering machine. I've also listed some of the pro-life websites where our names appear as targets.
There you go. Anybody stand out there we should be taking a look at?
It could be anybody. I don't know. I mean, we take precautions. We have security, private guard, cameras. They still find us.
You and Dr. Stroud shared the partnership, just the two of you, is that right?
Yes, we opened it 10 years ago.
10 years, that's a long partnership. How did you get along?
Professionally, good.
So you'd say he was a good doctor then?
His patients thought so.
How about off the job? How'd you get along there?
We had our problems.
What kind of problems?
He owed the practice money.
You're a little bit worried about that?
Well, it caused some friction, but it didn't threaten us from staying in business.
And what was the nature of his debts? How did he incur those?
He was a gambler. It was petty, really, but it adds up. He said it was to deal with the stress.
Okay. Are there any other problems that we should know about?
No.
You might want to think about shutting down the office for a few days till we get a chance.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
You should think about hiring some extra security.
We have extra security already.
There's someone here to see you.
We're gonna go through these things here, and if we have any more questions, we'll give you a call. Okay? Thanks for coming in. I'm sorry for your loss. Okay.
So, what brings you here?
I was in the neighborhood and I thought you might need your wallet.
Oh, that's what I did with it. Thanks.
You left it behind the counter.
Yeah, it was rubbing on my hip.
Well, take it easy.
Oh, you're here. Can I take you to lunch?
Thanks. I just had a little something. Another time, maybe.
Okay. Thanks for taking the trouble.
It's no trouble. Take care. I'll see you next Wednesday. Okay?
Is that woman from the dance studio?
Yeah,
Yeah? What's she want?
I think she just dropped by to say hello.
Yeah? Back to the dance studio lately?
Huh?
I said, have you been back to the dance studio lately?
Yeah.
Dance lessons?
It's a dance studio.
Okay.
What do we got here?
I'm gonna check out the couple of websites that have the doctor's name posted. You want to wade through some of this stuff?
I know this is a very difficult thing to ask you to do, but I wondered if you might explain or recall for us how your wife, Sarah, described the events that surrounded the death of your first child, Max.
Well, she really didn't describe it to my satisfaction. And I don't mean that in the sense that I never would have accepted it. It's just that I was never completely... I'm still not completely certain that...
What?
I never got much of a description of the accident. All I got was an apology.
And how were you getting along before the accident? You and your wife, you getting along okay?
No, not really. We were talking about separating.
And after?
Well, she was completely devastated. I mean, we both, it was a mess. We were depressed for months.
So you stayed together, and that's when you had your second child, Alexander, I guess.
Yeah. That was a mistake. No, I loved Alexander. No, I don't mean he was a mistake.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Don't worry about it.
It's just that in retrospect.
Sir, do you think it's possible you gain custody of your baby?
It's not my child.
That's not your child?
No, she got pregnant by another man after me, and I don't even know if they're still together. From what I understand, he didn't even want kids.
Yeah, I put Ginger out of her misery.
By bashing her in the head.
She could hardly walk. She had arthritis. You know, she was in constant pain.
What'd you hit her with?
Hammer.
Jesus Christ, you ever hear of taking a sick dog to the pound and having it put to sleep?
That costs money, which I don't have, and who's to say it's any less painful for the dog?
Okay, so the night your wife took off, you just decided out of the blue, hey, it's time for Ginger to go.
Yeah, that's what we were fighting about. The dog was in pain. She didn't want to face that.
Where was the dog when you decided to play executioner?
Eating hamburger out of a dish.
So you killed the dog in the kitchen?
I laid the plastic bag she was in down on the floor, under her.
Oh, because you don't want to get any blood on the kitchen floor?
Yeah, but I guess some of it must have got there anyway.
All right, so you're saying that the blood on the floor is your dog's blood, not your wife's?
Right.
Where's your wife?
I don't know.
Did you kill her?
No. No, I did not kill my wife. Look, can I go home now?
Mr. Turner, stand up.
What for?
I'm arresting you.
What for?
Section 446, cruelty to animals. You killed your dog.
Oh, so it's all right for the pound to put him down, but I'm not allowed to handle my own affairs? She was my dog. I took care of her. I raised her. I put her out of her pain.
The FBI gave us a couple of profiles. The first one there is Reverend Leroy Pearson, a self-styled evangelist. Used to have his own radio talk show. The Reverend is suspected of shooting a doctor as he was driving his vehicle to work, and the doctor was wounded.
Yeah, and the second one there, that's Sylvia Lancaster. The FBI says they don't know much about her other than the fact that she's a regular face at abortion clinic protests. She's also suspected in shooting a doctor driving his car. The doctor was killed.
What about the weapons that were used in these shootings?
They're similar. Both were hunting rifles. The first one was a Winchester, model 1894. And that was recovered from the woman's motel room. Now, the second rifle was never recovered, but it was believed to be a 30-06. It's the 30-06 that we think is the same kind of rifle that was used to kill our doctor here.
Yeah, we're going to compare the bullet from the U.S. shooting with the bullet from our shooting, see if we can come up with a weapons match.
Have you got any info on where these two suspects are?
Well, they're both fugitives.
Okay, let's get their photos out there, see if anybody's seen them. Also, what about the threats made to the doctor's practice? Any info there?
Nothing so far. All the letters were anonymous. Same thing with the email and the voicemail.
Two of the websites run by anti-abortion advocates. They get the doctor's name on there, his address, his phone number, license plate number, all that.
Both sites are offering a reward of $2,000 for information on any of these doctors.
One of the websites already has his name crossed off in red.
Cause of death is drowning, but I did find that Alexander suffered a blunt trauma wound to his forehead at some time prior to his death.
It appears to have fractured his skull.
Yeah, and whether that rendered him unconscious, impossible to tell.
Oh, we found him underneath a log boom, right?
Right. Well, that's possible. If you mean, did he strike his head against a log?
But it's also possible it could have come from another object, say, as in a person giving him a blow.
It could have been. I can't determine whether it was or not, sir.
How long did it happen before he drowned?
Well, long enough to have formed some bruising, but how long? I've got no idea. I did find some splinters underneath his fingernails from wood, which I recovered. And that would indicate a scrabbling, a grabbing at either the pier or a log, something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of logs in that water there.
Well, he's going downriver. He's going to be grabbing at everything he can.
So all we really know is that he banged his head and he drowned.
Yeah, she lost another child, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, what's that autopsy report look like?
Here, take a look at this, see if you can pick out the prisoner who beat you.
I don't recognize any of these guys. Okay. So you want to tell us what happened?
He was eating lunch with me. Everything was okay when he thought that I killed my wife. But I told him I was in jail for killing my dog, and that's when he started hitting me. Saying, you know, you gotta draw the line somewhere. You can't put me back in there with those guys.
Well, we'll see if we can arrange protective custody for you.
Yeah. Do that.
Sure. You tell us what you did with your wife, and we'll see about it.
Have you talked to her father? Her friends? Maybe they know?
Yeah, we talked to your father-in-law, but he doesn't know where she is. We've talked to her friends, but they don't know where she is either. We've got a bulletin out on her car, but nobody's seen it.
Your wife hasn't bought a bus, train, or plane ticket. She hasn't used any of her credit cards or her cash card.
In fact, the last time your wife was heard of on this planet was in your presence in your house last Tuesday night when the two of you argued.
And then we come along and find all that blood on your kitchen floor.
That's my dog's blood.
Not all of it. We had that blood analyzed, and it turns out most of it's human blood.
Is that going to turn out to be your wife's blood?
Well, she cut her foot. She was walking around. Maybe that's where it came from. And that happened earlier in the day before we had the fight.
So how come you're just remembering this now?
Because I'm just remembering it now. I didn't kill Susan. You want to charge me for killing my dog? Okay. When that's done, I'm going home. Until then, you want to speak to me again? You can talk to my lawyer.
This is the driver's side window?
Yeah, the guy who towed the car rolled the window down so he could secure the wheel. And then I had a hell of a time getting it out of the panel because of the crush, which is why I didn't catch it right away. Here, take a look at this.
Oh, yeah, I see that. What is that little half moon at the top there?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's gunpowder residue.
So the doctor had his window rolled down? About what, halfway?
Yeah, somebody shoots through the part that's open, and the blast from the muzzle of the weapon leaves the residue on the exposed glass.
Now, how close would you have to be to leave residue like that?
About 3 or 4 feet.
Jesus, that means whoever fired the rifle had to be practically right next to the doctor's car.
Maybe another driver.
Right.
Right. He's got the rifle barrel propped on the passenger window, pulls up alongside the doctor, bang, and then he steps on the gas.
Light just changed, but he beats it through anyway.
Running the red.
Excuse me. Susan Turner?
Uh-huh.
I'm Detective Kosmo, Vancouver Homicide.
How can I help you?
Did you know that we've been looking for you, Mrs. Turner?
No, I didn't. Why?
Where have you been?
I've been on Salt Spring Island camping.
Well, we have your husband in jail downtown.
Why? What did he do?
He killed your dog.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Were you aware that he was going to do that?
Mm-hmm. He said he was. We had a little argument about it.
Okay, so you know about that. And did you know that we've also been looking at him as a suspect in your murder?
Me? No, God, no.
We had a domestic violence complaint filed the other night.
Oh, yeah, well, we fought, like I said, but I mean, he never threatened to kill me or anything.
Okay. So you didn't read any newspapers over there on the island, listen to the radio? You had no idea we were looking for you?
No, none. I mean, I go there to get away from all that noise.
So you weren't just letting him stew over there in jail to teach him a lesson for killing your dog?
No. What's gonna happen to Fred?
Well, he's at the remand center, waiting to appear on charges of killing Ginger.
Is that like a fine, or could he go to jail for that?
He could do 6 months if the judge felt like giving it to him.
I didn't realize it was that serious.
Yeah, well, you might want to go down there and let him know that you're home safe and sound.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna have a hot bath first, and then I'll make my way down, okay?
And next time, you might want to let somebody know when you're gonna disappear for a while.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
See, I'm reading from the autopsy report here, and the pathologist recorded a number of blunt trauma blows to the head. Now, these could have been caused by that fall down the cliff, or it could have been by an actual blow to the head. But the child was rendered dead not by these, but by prolonged exposure in inaccessible terrain.
That's right.
That's right.
The rescue team couldn't recover the body from the mountain for almost 24 hours.
Which to me sounds very similar to the present circumstances and what happened to Alexander down by the river.
What are you suggesting?
Well, it's my job as coroner to investigate these deaths.
Max's death was already investigated.
It doesn't mean I can't or I won't continue to investigate it.
If you think you're the first person to accuse me of killing Max, you're wrong.
Really? Oh, I see. So there's a number of people that have been concerned about Max's death then.
There were people who suspected me, and those who supported me. Whatever your opinion is, it doesn't make it so. If I'm one of the tiny percentage of people who suffer the death of more than one child, that makes me unlucky, not guilty.
You know, some people might say that having a second child die in unsupervised circumstances might suggest that you were being irresponsible. It had nothing to do with you being lucky or not.
You're suggesting that I shouldn't have had another child, or that I should have kept him tied up on a leash?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm suggesting that when it comes to a second child, maybe you might have exerted more caution.
I was cautious. It happened in a split second.
Would you be willing to undergo a psychiatric examination?
Why would I want to do that?
Because I still have concerns.
Are we finished?
Until I have some more questions. If you're planning on leaving Vancouver, would you let me or my office know?
I'm just planning to go to my son's funeral.
Well, see, I have plans too. I plan to keep this investigation going until I receive a satisfactory explanation.
Then I guess we'll meet again.
The FBI says they don't have anybody that shoots from a moving car that they know about, so our guy's new on the scene. But, I think we got lucky. This could be our guy right here.
This is one of those intersection cameras they use to catch vehicles running red lights.
Right, this intersection there, that's the one where our doctor got shot. 3 cars ran the red that day, and if you look there, the blue Chevy racing through, that could be our guy.
You can kind of make out a license plate there. It's what, Ontario?
Yeah, it's registered to a Thomas George Cooley. He's 24 years old. The address is his parents'. The RCMP out there are going to talk to him, see if their son's been around lately.
Is this Thomas Cooley registered anywhere on the system?
No arrest record, but he was in the Canadian Army. He was in Kosovo. He just mustered out last month.
Is he on anybody else's radar?
He doesn't belong to any anti-abortion groups that anybody knows about.
So maybe this is the guy just running red lights?
Yeah, maybe. But his Army record indicates that he's a hell of a marksman. The sergeant said he could hit a moving target at 300 yards.
Jesus. Run for cover.